Hey there, this is John Lance, and this is my screencast for the review of Twiddla, the interactive whiteboard. There's a lot to get through in under 5 minutes, so let's get started. First, I started by creating a profile. I was pretty hyped to know that I could make my username Mr. Lance. That's going to be fun when I eventually use this in my own classroom, and my username is Mr. Lance. So you can invite people, in this case students, to the room by clicking up here where it says room. Pretty convenient. You can title it whatever you'd want. We'll go lesson. It creates its own URL. You can make it a collaboration, so as it says, everyone can change the page, or presentation, to where only me, the teacher, or admin, if you want to think of it that way, can take control. And then access, you have public, require knock, and private. Require knock is, as you might expect, they need to identify themselves and wait for me to let them in. That would probably be what I would use in the educational setting. I don't want to make it public because I don't want anyone to maybe stumble across my interactive whiteboard. And I also don't want to make it private because then no one can join. We're not going to worry about that now though. So over here is the chat bar. So as you can see, I tried it out just saying different things. You can type in responses to students, or if a student asks a question, say, was for homework. And that was Mark who said that. I can say, read chapter 4. Or, whatever. So over here we have what I'm calling our different templates, and we're going to get to those in a second. Over here is our tools. So we have the browse, which you use to click on links. Select, which, as you might imagine, you use to select different things. Draw, which you can choose your color and then your line size. You can make a little smiley here if I want. Not the greatest smiley, but you get the idea. And you can just as easily erase it. It also has shapes, and you can add text. So the text, it can be a little frustrating. You can add it in a simple text bar, make a sticky note, speech bubble, and so on. And so to get a text, just click and it'll come up. And you can type in whatever you want. How's your day? And what I find cool about the text is that your interactive whiteboard could be a title like that, and then students would just then respond on the page, which I would find really cool as like morning work or something. See, now it's creating more text bubbles. I have to click off it and select. And now how you can make it bigger is, see, this is a problem I ran across a few times. It doesn't always, I gotta get this one out of here, but it doesn't always change the size on the first try. And as we saw in the video showcasing this, that was on our Moodle page, you can bring it up to here and delete it. So let's get to our formats. If I go to images, as you might expect, you can upload images. This is just something I had on my computer from one of my previous assignments. And something you can do with images is, really there's a lot, but something that immediately came to my mind is giving out a fun morning work assignment in which you have two different images on the interactive whiteboard, and students have to spot the differences between them. So say these images are basically the same, except the time says 7:10 on one and 5:10 on the other, and they would just circle that as something that is different. Excuse me. So you can erase it, but as explained in the video earlier, when you erase something, it doesn't just erase what you wrote, it erases everything. So that can be a little problematic, although I will say it can be used for like some cool editing, I'd imagine. You can do some pretty cool stuff with it. And similarly, you can add shapes and text if you need to. Over to documents. This is a behavior chart that I use for tracking behaviors of my cat for a different class. And what's cool is that if I wanted to showcase how to do this, it's all right here. And you could have different copies that students then fill in on their Chromebooks. I see Chromebooks being introduced a lot more in elementary school, which is what I'm gearing towards. And the Etherpad, so when you create a new page, it automatically clears the page. However, you can save it up here. So we'll clear the page. Yes, no problem. And as you can see, I already tested it out a bit, but this is essentially a pad where then anyone could write something. And web page I'll try to do, but it's been giving my computer some trouble, so this is just something I found on Pinterest. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to upload for me, which is kind of a bummer. We'll see if that works. No. So overall, I really like Twiddla. It has some bugs or some features that I'm not a huge fan of, but overall, it's fairly simple, and I would recommend it to any educator because I think it can be used in a variety of different formats. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.